We were on the morning break in the questioning of Detective Sergeant Bernard Greaney at the undercover policing inquiry. I apologise we didn't have time for a preview video this morning. I'm joined by Donald O'Driscoll from the Undercover Research Group. Bernard Greaney was one of the cover officers. He's been questioned so far about his handling of HN26, cover name Christine Green, and the deceptive sexual relationship she had with Joe Tax. And we've also just started looking at his handling of James Thompson. What have you made of what he's had to say?
Well, it's a classic exercise in denial of reality.
Big denial of reality. Do apologize. I don't know how much we lost then. Tech problems with the mic. We were just talking about how Don Ramble has been taking Detective Sergeant Greaney, Bernard Greaney, through things. Just go through that again.
Yeah, so we've been looking at the tradecraft manual, in particularly the aspect of relationships, and he opens up with the tradecraft manual is a manual of best practice. No, it's not. It says here it's best practice. You told the undercovers to read it, yes, and they would have read it's best practice, yes, but it's not best practice.
Yeah,
it's not guidance.
I mean, just literally at war with the English language again.
And it goes all the way through it, making it clear. And he's like, no, it's not really guidance. They would have known not to believe it. It's just antidotes.
Well, it's just a guide. Right. It's not guidance. It's just a guide.
So how did you train the undercovers? Oh, we didn't. We just told the other undercovers to train them, but the other undercovers are all engaging in sexual relationships.
I mean, yeah. Particularly the section on sexual liaisons we've been taking through. I mean, he was just like not agreeing with what it said. He accepted that women were the main victims of the undercover police's misconduct, but that it wasn't sexist or misogynist. And if anybody said that he was sexist and misogynist, he'd take an exception to that.
Oh yeah, he was very, very clear. But, it was like he's definitively not a sexist.
Yeah.
As we've heard from a lot of them so far.
Yeah.
But, I doubt any of them could actually tell us what sexism is.
No, I do get that impression. So yeah,
I do want to ask them at some point. Did you ever open the Sun newspaper? It's like not sexist, really.
No, I mean, so we got to his handling of Christine Green, HN26, the undercover officer who was infiltrating the Animal Liberation Front and deceived Joe Tax into a sexual relationship. And we saw very clear we were taking through the various file notes and reports that said that she was having she wasn't delivering any decent intelligence, and for her to reflect on that, very quickly she infiltrates a small group led by Joe Tax, and we see the file note saying that she has explored all options open to her, has particular extra pressures from now having to stay overnight and going away with Joe Tax, and it's very clear that she started a sexual relationship with him. No sign of that, says Greaney. Didn't see any of that at all.
So the language goes right up to the very edge, and he's Ramble's done quite well. It's like, oh, here's the bit where Joe Tax has relationship ends. Here's the bit of pressure. Here's the bit where she's suddenly really close to him, and she's suddenly staying overnight. And also you have a report from Lambert, how she's made really difficult choices and stepped up. It's like, how, we know they can't specifically say sexual relationships, but you cannot get closer to the line. It's like,
it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
But no, it's not however you just talk. This is true. This is, an expert level covering of ass.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, he literally is just like, no. He said, well, there's benefit of hindsight. You can look back and consider anything, but at the time, I was looking at the future. When I was there, I was looking at the future. I wasn't looking at the past. I was looking at the future. I mean, it's just like,
of course, because he's not a sexist and misogynist. He feels totally able to say that what had changed when he was pushing is, she was coasting along. And then suddenly she started to work harder when she was told off.
Yeah,
that's just like, it's quite gobsmacking. And when you actually see her reports, she is filing reports that are no different from anybody else.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add up.
Very much, very, very dodgy, and quite frankly, ridiculous. So I mean, it was put to him that it would have been possible to monitor the activities of undercover officers when they're in the field. He went, no, that would have been impossible. And it was like, well, the SDS was involved in spying. So obviously there were lots of methods, and he goes through, kind of checking the phone records, the going through the documents.
This is an action. This wasn't just theory. This is what they did with James Thompson when they realized that James Thompson was gone bad. So I was like, no, they couldn't do anything. He said, well, he had don't have a nice line. You are an experienced detective in special branch, used to investigating people, and you can't even investigate your own officers.
No, he said it would have been possible, and then we'd shown like when it was very much possible when they looked into the misconduct of James Thompson. The DCI HN53 looked into the misconduct of James Thompson.
So and his position then becomes the undercovers are at the cold face. They had to make day-to-day decisions. They couldn't really be supervised. Basically, the thing was we had to trust them. So if they did something wrong, it's because of them. It's not our fault. But he also accepted. It was like, well, how could they adhere to the general principles of policing? They were an exceptional unit. Again, we have this subtle things like, we're special. We can do what we want.
We had a fantastic quote from the Operation Hearn interview, which actually, I mean, unlike a lot of the other undercover officers, Bernard Greaney accepted what was in the Operation Hearn interview with him, where he said that James Thompson was a maverick in a maverick unit, a unit that wasn't playing by the normal rules. And he said he stands by that. He said, yes, he was, and it was. How could they possibly follow the normal rules?
Yeah. This is, they're all special, hardworking. And going back to this, like, when challenged by Christine Green's involved in the Crow Farm Hampshire mink raid. Oh yeah, that's fine. No problem. They're allowed to commit that sort of criminality. It has gone up the line. Yeah,
he said, but the mink raid, it wasn't firebombing. So it was absolutely fine.
They were more interested in setting up something for firebombing. Nobody knows acknowledgement, how would they have found that information by an undercover officer being involved in that. But it's okay to release tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, 6,000 mink. And what struck me about his evidence is how little he batted an eye about that. This was just pure backbones. Not many people know, but the mink farm actually shut down after that.
Crow Hill Mink Farm, there was. I mean, he said that he regretted it on many levels, given the go ahead. It was pointed out that it wasn't authorized by the commander of Special Branch as something of that size should be. He said, "Oh, I thought it was. I didn't realize you had to tell the commander. I thought it was just a detective inspector," which shows, I mean, a complete lack of knowledge of his own internal rules of the unit, which I mean we've got used to now, right? But I mean, it's shocking, really.
Yeah, the impression you get is somebody who didn't really care.
No,
he was just doing the job. He did it the way he felt like it did, and even now you get a sense of irritation that he's been asked all these questions. He's probably still I did it for Queen and Country. Doesn't see anything wrong with what has happened. He kind of recognizes on one level that there's no out, that they're being dumped on because he went to the commissioner's apology and they've accepted that.
Oh, he didn't accept that? No, he said if it was unfair.
Unfair, that was right. Unfair, it's just he was being, it felt like he was being swept up in that.
Yes,
like,
he was
you're
doing like that.
Manager?
Yeah, quite. I mean, utterly ridiculous. One little snippet from the beginning, which I thought was interesting. Before he went into the SDS, he was working in the Animal Rights National Index, and he said that they were also monitoring environmental activists through the ARNI, which was something I hadn't really picked up before.
Yes, no, they kind of picked up and ran it, and it's the Animal Rights National Index was actually, he says at that stage they weren't running informers; they were just collating information and then sending it out around the country. But they do. In 1999 go on to become the MPORU. They formed a nub of that, and the MPORU did focus on animal rights and environmentalists. But they were very much interested in that.
Which something I hadn't really noticed. All right, it's only a short break. We better go head back in. It's about to start up again. Bernard Greaney continues to give evidence till lunchtime, and then after lunch we've got
Ron Gilbertson.
Ron Gilbertson, another one of the backroom staff. So please join us for that. We'll see you again at lunchtime. Bye for now.